Have you ever been in a fist fight? Yes and no. I don't know, if people count fist fights before a certain age. I've never been in a fist fight as an adult. And there are multitudes of reasons for this. I'd like to think that I'm not a violent person. Fighting is always the last thing on my mind, and it's always a purely defensive thing. I've never been the type of guy that gets angry at people and wants to beat their heads in. And that's good, because I don't think I could. I remember when I was in grade school, and in fact, I'll tell the story first. When I was in grade school, I think it was 4th or 5th grade, and like I said, I don't know if this even fucking counts as a fist fight. I mean, it was a fist fight, but 4th or 5th grade, I don't know. It was the day after the Super Bowl here in America, and the Denver Broncos had played the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I'm a fan of neither of those teams, but I'd watched the game, and I was standing around with a couple of my friends just talking about the game. And in that game, the 49ers absolutely destroyed the Broncos. I mean, it was not even a contest. And so we were talking around, talking about the game, and I was like, man, the fucking Broncos got their asses handed to them. And it was at this point that this Mexican kid who was in my class, and his name's TJ, walked by, and he was a Denver Broncos fan every day to school. And this was back in the day before, they banned sports teams at schools. You could wear like a Raiders hat or whatever to school. He would wear this like cheap little Denver Broncos jacket every day. And he walked by, and I guess he overheard me say something like, the Broncos got their asses handed to me. And he said, "What the fuck did you say? The fuck did you say? What the fuck did you say about the Broncos?" And I was like, "Oh, dude," I said, "Look, I'm not a Niners fan or anything. I just, I watched the game, and Broncos got their asses handed to them." He goes, "You're gonna fucking talk shit about the fucking Broncos right here to my face?" He goes, "Fuck this bullshit." He starts pulling his jacket off. Now, a few things happened. The first thing I noticed was that my group of friends, the 2 or 3 little, white kids and the one little Mexican kid that I hung out with, scattered like cockroaches, all in different directions. And it was before I even had a chance to react to the implication of him stripping his jacket off. They just, oh shit, and they were gone. And then out of fucking nowhere, this entire ocean of I assume TJ's friends swooped out of the fucking woodworks and surrounded me and TJ. And all of a sudden, we're standing up, and he's squaring up like he's going to fight. And it was only at this point, after all these kids had gathered around me and my friends had taken off fucking running, that I realized what was about to happen. And I said, "Whoa, so what, you're going to fight?" He said, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm going to fight you. I'm going to fucking kick your ass. You talk shit about the motherfucking Broncos right in front of my face." I don't know if he was cussing like that. This was 4th or 5th grade, but the kids have potty mouths. I know I make him sound like he's a 20-something. But this is all in how I remember it. I'm gonna kick your ass, man. You talk shit, blah, blah, blah. And so he squares up to me and starts coming at me. Now, I'd never been in a fight before at this point. And so I just kind of like, reaction, he's coming in, he's got his hands up. In reaction, I just kind of backed up and did one of those. I just kind of flung my hand out there and popped him right in the lips. And I don't know if you've ever hit somebody right in the lips. Like, not in the lip, like, you hit them and it busts their lip open. But, like, hit them right in the lips. I've never been hit right in the lips. But I imagine, from the look on TJ's face and from other people that I've seen that it's happened to in various places throughout my life, that it's not a pleasant thing. And I just kind of lashed out at him and landed the first blow, but it hit him right in the lips. And he kind of like... And he gave me this look like, "In the fucking lips, B? You hit me in both my lips?" And that was the only punch that I landed in that entire fight. He came at me with this ferocity that I didn't know a human being was capable of until that moment. And growing up in the environment that I'd seen adult fights, but he was punching me, and what would happen was, because we were surrounded by all his friends going, "Fight, fight, fight," he would hit me, and maybe I'd block it a little bit, and I would fall back into the crowd of people, and they would hit me in the back of the head and shove me back into the ring. So I'm getting pummeled from every fucking angle. The fight ended finally with him kicking me. I remember being kicked in the face, which is an interesting thing. and hitting me, I think, in the stomach, and I fell to my knees because, just knocked the wind out of me. And I'm on my knees, and he walks over to me and looks at me and knees me right in the face. And that's how the fight ended. And at this point, the fucking yard duty teacher finally makes her way to the other side of the fucking yard where everybody was hanging out, breaks it all up, and I ended up getting suspended for this, along with TJ. Even though he probably just had some swollen lips, and I looked like a lion had fucking attacked me. I'm sure I was missing patches of hair and teeth. And I went home that day, and I was crying because I was afraid I was going to be in trouble. I was my dad came to talk to me, and I was afraid he was going to, spank me or yell at me. And so I was like, and he's like, look, settle down. I'm not mad at you. And I said, you're not mad. You're not going to spank me. He said, no. He said, you did what you had to do, but I do need to tell you something. And I need you to remember this. And I have always remembered this. He said, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you a secret. Men in our family can't fight. And I said, what? Men in our family can't fight. So there are two options. The first option is the best option, son. If you can talk your way out of a fight or avoid fighting, you need to do it. Because men in our family can't fucking fight. If you're in a position where you have to fight, don't square up with the guy and think you're going to throw punches and shit. Don't do any of the things that you've seen in movies. You climb him like a fucking tree. I don't care what anybody says about you. You claw his face, grab fistfuls of his hair, get him in a chokehold if you can. Don't try and do anything fancy, and don't try and make it an honorable fight. You climb him like a fucking tree, like your life depended on it. Like he was a door, and on the other end of that door is freedom, and you've got to get through that door without using the doorknob. And I've never forgotten that. I've never forgotten that as long as I live. And, I've been involved in fistfights. I've had fistfights break out around me and had to kind of help break things up. But as far as getting into fistfights myself, it is something that I've never had the occasion to do, and more than likely won't ever have the occasion to do, except in the most dire of circumstances where it's, try and fight somebody or die. And if that ever happens, I can guarantee you that I will climb that motherfucker like a tree. I will use every ounce of my fat energy. I will grab fistfuls of fucking hair. I will grab his balls. I will do whatever I can to win it. I've always remembered that. It's one of those core lessons.